Hi, welcome to Game Nights TV, where all you need is video games. My name is Mario Sauceda. I'm the president of Game Nights, a non-profit organization that plays video games not only with the gaming community, but we also play games with the elderly and the most unfortunate. Now, on to our first segment, game news. Take it away, Richard.
Alright, thanks Mario. So on to the gaming news. My name is Ricardo. I'm actually the vice president of the Las Cruces Game Nights. And this is all the news that you care about, from the latest on the PS4 controller to all the latest news on all the latest updates and word about Elder Scrolls Online. First, big thing to talk about is the PS4 controller. With that, we're going to cut right now to Albert, Phoenix, and Fabian.
Thank you, Richard. My name is Fabian.
And I'm Phoenix.
And I'm Albert.
And we're here to talk about the PlayStation 4 controller. A new leaked image has come out with a touchscreen or touchpad on the front of it. What's the difference, some might ask?
Well, the difference between the touchpad and the touchscreen is the touchscreen will display images on what's on the dashboard onto the screen itself. And the touchpad is just a blank little piece of plastic that you just touch, like on the back of the PSP Vita. And then plus they have that on the image, if you look close enough, you can see a blue strip like you would see on the PS3 Move controllers, the ones that have the lights on it. I don't know, the pros and the cons of the controller is if it does display have the touchscreen display on it, maybe it'd be pretty good for the controller itself, and maybe for some users don't feel like going to the dashboard, they can just launch an application from the controller itself. Maybe if they actually integrated that type of feature to the controller. What do you guys think?
That would be pretty cool. Like if you could like look on the screen and like launch your music stuff.
Launch a movie from the controller itself. Maybe load up Netflix, push that little icon on the controller, and it'll pop up on the screen on the TV.
I think that would actually be a good idea, because people don't always pay attention to what they're doing. They might be looking at the phone, and then they could use that controller.
I think if it was put into gaming, they put like say you're playing like Dead Space, they might put like an X-ray vision or like something that'll help Isaac see stuff that's not really there.
Maybe like how the Zombies Wii U had it, where if you would aim the pad at the wall, it'll affect how it'll show you what you're looking at in the game. You scan your environment with it. Maybe.
So you do a 360 to see everything around you.
Yeah, kind of like that, or use it to find hints within the environment to better progress your game. I'm thinking at first when they do launch the PS4 that as part of this controller, if it is going to have the touchscreen on it, it's probably going to be wired at the beginning. Because if they do make it wireless, it's probably just going to last maybe half the time a normal PS3 controller would last on the charge. You got to think about how long it will take to charge it back up to full charge. The touchscreen on the controller may raise up the price on the controllers.
I think that they're gonna have the higher price anyway, but eventually it will go down. Like the PS3 did. It started at $70, but then it went down to $50, and eventually it'll go down to $30 and continue. So I don't think it's gonna be much of a problem in the beginning, so much, because a lot of people won't switch right away. And some people will stay with the PS3 for a little while and then wait for the price to go down.
Yeah, because like when the PS4 comes out, it might be like, I don't know, $300, $400, and people might have the money to get it. So they're just gonna have to wait with the PS3 and wait for it to like drop like $50, $60.
Right. And now we're gonna go on to Mario with the next topic, with the latest game news.
Thanks guys for all your info. So next up, for all you fighting fans out there, I got an update about Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Yes, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I know there's a lot of controversy about that, and there was a lot of problems with the DLC that was already in the game content. I know the gems are unbalanced. I know some characters like Mega Man was that was unacceptable, Capcom. You could not do that to us. Anywho, but now we're coming back in 2013. Capcom has announced a new update which is going to patch Street Fighter Cross Tekken into making it more balanced. They basically said it's going to feel like a brand new game. So you can expect to pick up that old copy or glue it back together if you haven't broken it apart yet, and start playing it again and see what that patch is all about. It's available already, and it's free, thank goodness. So that way we can get back into playing some awesome matches. In other topics, we have the new Fallout leaks. The first Fallout leak that we got was from a tweet by the voice actor who voiced 3Dog in Fallout 3. He mentioned that 3Dog might be coming back in some way, shape, or form. Everybody was going crazy and saying, what do you mean? do you have permission to mention anything like that? And he basically tweeted and responded and said, yes, I did get permission from Bethesda to announce this leak. So we were all, everybody's questioning, is it going to be a new game? Is it going to be a TV show? What is 3 Dog going to be involved with? But last week, Bethesda announced that the new setting, instead of being Fallout 4 or anything that you were hoping for, it's going to be Fallout LA. And they also said it was going to take place in the Boneyard. So that's an area that they're going to revisit from the first Fallout. So anybody who has played the original Fallout 1 and 2 back when Interplay was making those games, you'll feel right at home with that. Speaking of Bethesda, I know we have the beta for The Elder Scrolls Online coming up. So we have Albert and Richard to talk about that. So take it away, guys.
All right, thanks, Mario. So big news to talk about is, of course, The Elder Scrolls Online. A lot of players from the Elder Scrolls universe have been waiting for this, and it's something that just fits perfectly for massive multiplayer. For those of you who don't know, there's already been news about the story, where it's going to take place. It's actually taking place 800 years before Morrowind. So a lot of people who have been with the Elder Scrolls for a long time, who know kind of the story and have followed it, they know that it's actually a really good place to put it because it gives a lot of opportunity to just clear the board and have their own special story.
And then plus, how the outline of the game is going to work is basically it's going to work with one massive crystal where everybody who's in the game, who's playing at the time, is going to be in one single world and one server. They're not going to have multiple crystals where everybody's going to be on one server and say your friends are on another server. You want to play with them and start a new character. No, everybody's going to be on one server the whole time. Means, let's say you have friends on that same server, it's going to put you near them, or try to at least put you in the safe zone where they are at, so you can group up with them, go do dungeon raids or whatever you want to do.
Now the main point from the story perspective is that there's 3 different factions that are at war at this time. Like I said, this is before anything that a lot of people have played, from Oblivion and Skyrim and everything else that's been in between. We're talking about 3 different factions: the Ebonheart Pact, the Altmerian Dominion, and the Daggerfall Compact, which those 3 different factions themselves were written into history from the Elder Scrolls. It's a very specific time frame, and it's something that's really cool that the players get to play.
And plus, the 3 factions can fight over the main city in the heart of the map. Whichever faction is holding the key of that city at the time, other factions come in and battle to try to take claim of that city. So it's a massive PvP area where 2 factions can go at it, or maybe more than 2 factions, maybe 3, all of them can go at it. Whoever wins takes control of that city.
Now there's very limited information about the 4th faction. It's actually the unplayable faction, and it's the faction that a lot of people, believe it or not, like to play. It's the Imperials. They have their own little area that they're trying to take over. They're trying to take back their empire, essentially, and they're becoming the bad guys. So it's kind of weird that the one set of faction that a lot of people like to play through in Oblivion and everything else, they're the ones that are actually the main bad guys that are trying to get their empire back. And there's a lot of rumors about how they're going to be putting that story in, saying, you know, maybe some of obviously some of the Daedric Lords are going to be playing a big part in that. And a lot of you who don't know, the Daedric Lords are kind of the underbelly evil entities, good or evil entities, but they're the ones that really mess with the world itself. They can hurt you or they can help you, whatever they feel like doing. So obviously one of the main ones is Malak Bal. He's the main guy of Pain, who just wants to destroy the entire empire, who has his own secret agenda. And so it's, in other words, it's just building a story that's going to be really great to play on.
When 2 factions go out for the city, you can be at level 10 to go into the PvP areas. Plus, once you hit the max level, that's when the game really opens up. From what I heard from one of the developers had said in the video, that you can actually go and with your buddies go in like epic dungeons, start battling for more better loot and stuff like that at the time.
And a lot of people know that loot is one of the main things about Elder Scrolls. It's why a lot of people want Elder Scrolls to become a massive multiplayer online game, because the story and just the way that they create their weaponry is just so great. So there's a lot of stuff for those people who are PvE, who love to play for the environments and play the story. And of course, from everything the developers have been talking about, they're going to be adding a lot to the PvP environments as well.
Since it's going to be on one map where everybody's going to be on it at all times, they really can't have the graphics to You hear Skyrim's how level of graphics to detail it is. It's gonna be pretty detailed, but not that detailed. It's not gonna require people to have like monster gaming computers to run the game, or have over $1,000 worth of stuff just trying to run the game itself. They want the game to be able to be played on mostly any computer.
Well, it's definitely something that they can do. I mean, it's something like, for example, Morrowind, it's something that was very universal. The graphics themselves, even though they were basic for the time frame, it's something that a lot of people remember because of just how vast the world was, how much they were able to pack into the limited graphics that they had. Even if they're going to have everybody on that one map, it's definitely something that's not going to be a problem for Bethesda.
The way the game is going to end up probably working, you choose one of the 3 fractions. Once you choose that fraction, you start from the world, then you start doing quests.
So, I mean, it's one of those things that it's definitely going to be for the PvE players, the ones that love to play for the environment, play the story. For the PvP players, it's going to be definitely something that you want to take a look for. Something where the environment continually changes. So it's definitely something you guys need to take a look at. Put an application in to the Bethesda website, apply for the beta, get it down, and get started on this. So that way, this can take off the way that it should. And with that in mind, we're actually going to go ahead and jump to the latest news that we have about Mass Effect 4 and possible multiplayer rumors. We're going to throw that over to Matt and Phoenix.
Thanks, Richard. And now we're going to talk about Mass Effect 4 and its multiplayer.
Alright, well, I'm Matthew, and right now they're working on Mass Effect 4, and it's supposed to add a whole new aspect to the series, which is going to be the multiplayer. The whole idea behind it, what they're going to do now is they're going to actually have where people now could actually drop in and drop out, kind of like what they're doing with Resident Evil and Dead Space 3 now. They are thinking of leaving it up to their fans, deciding on if it's going to be a sequel or prequel. Really hoping they're going to do a prequel because a lot of people were pretty upset about the ending of Mass Effect 3.
But the thing about I don't care about dropping out and dropping in is that you could leave your ally like totally screwed over with a bunch of, I don't know, Protheans.
Yeah. Now, Mass Effect 3 introduced co-op in the multiplayer. It was an online thing. You could actually join people around the world, and what it really did was like it just was all focused on co-op. There was no player versus player at all. Mass Effect 1 was amazing, Mass Effect 2 was alright, Mass Effect 3, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but now they're coming up with a Mass Effect 4, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a prequel, and I'm really hoping it's going to be a prequel because all the other Mass Effects were alright, and this one's going to be even better if they really do tell the whole story of the universe that happened beforehand.
Yeah.
And the whole multiplayer thing is going to be a real plus, so let's see where they go from there.
And now on to the next segment, the next generation consoles, with Fabian and Richard.
Thanks, Matt and Phoenix. The PS4 hasn't released much news for this next topic of the next-gen consoles, but the 720 has. Or at least there's a few leaked information about it. One of which is being the Kinect has to be plugged in at all times with the internet.
Yeah, it's definitely something that if they go through with something like that, it's going to create uproars. It's already created uproars where they cannot just plug it into their TV. They have to actually have everything connected online, and they have to have the Kinect, and they have to have this and that. If you're limiting the gamers, you're going to limit your content. And a lot of stores and a lot of companies have already told them don't do this. So I'm hoping these are just rumors, but at the same time, with Microsoft, you never know.
I think this is really going to hurt their sales, but this isn't even the worst part of what the 720 has leaked.
Yeah, that's right.
The used games, they're taking that out completely. This is just a bad move for Microsoft if they go through with it. I don't think they're going to go through with it, but what do you think?
Honestly, if they do go through with it, they're going to see their sales tank. But by tank, I mean they're just not going to see anything grow from it. They're going to put all this effort and all this content into trying to create this better product for the 720, and they're going to be like, well, why aren't we getting a lot of sales? Well, because you decided to say that, hey, we're not going to sell used games anymore. We're not going to allow it. Already, big retail stores, GameStop, all the big merchants have already told them, don't do this. You're going to hurt your sales. It's not something that they're just saying. So I'm really hoping that this rumor is just something that's going to go away. It's something that we're just going to have to keep an eye on whenever E3 comes around. Everybody knows E3, they're going to have all the big news about the next-gen stuff. If they start talking about, all downloads and everything download, we have all sorts of stuff downloadable. then that's pretty much a hint to you saying that used games are gone.
It's just gonna really affect everything. Like there's gonna be a shift in power.
Right. For whatever reason, the 360 just did not want to get on the board with the Blu-ray. They didn't want to get on board with the higher increase in the hard drives. They just didn't want to get through it. And granted, I have a 360. I love it. You know. That being said, if they go through with it on the 720, what little rumors we know of, they're trying to keep everything under wraps because they're going to be launching everything next week. Literally, they're going to be announcing a lot next week. So something to look out for.
I also think the Wii U is going to get a boost in sales because of this as well. You get what you pay for, sort of thing, but they could play used games and everything, and that's just the benefit of everything.
Well, the Wii U is something that it's had a hard start to begin with. It has a good product. It's just something that's had a hard start. So yes, when Xbox comes out and say, hey, guess what? You can't have used games. You got to have internet, and you need to have the Kinect all the time. What do you think? Then yeah, people are going to split apart. Some people are going to go towards the Wii U because it's family-friendly, kid-friendly games, a lot more stuff that they can do, I guess, in that regard for families. A lot of people may go to the PlayStation side just because they have more action-related content, a lot more shooters, a lot more, manly, adult things, I guess is the best way to describe it. But if the 720 does get rid of that used games, I don't know, it could be anybody's game after that.
Right now, we're gonna go to Matt with the Sly Cooper review. To you, Matt.
Oh, god damn it! Oh. Thank you, Fabian and Richard. And now to Sly Cooper. It's really fun. I mean, they really brought back all of the old elements and just really freshened it up. Now it's all in HD. There's cell shading still, but it's just like now we're actually going back in time to visit Sly Cooper's family, and it's just fun. It's nostalgic. Like, I mean, for those of you who haven't played the first 3 Sly Coopers, it was a little easy, but you know what? It was really all about like the adventure, the story, and just everything about it. It was like a whole art scheme. It was like almost like you were playing in a comic book. It was pretty fun, and I really hope that they keep going with this because I believe there's a new developer that is working on it now. It's not Sucker Punch anymore, but the new one, they really did a good job. Personally, I would give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, this game is just really flawless. They really added to it. It is only for PS3. The music in Sly Cooper, you kind of get that feel like it's from like the 20s or the 30s. I mean, it's like a really classic music feel to it. Kind of like the old games. There is a mixture of some new age music in there. Not a whole lot of like pop or rock or anything like that, but it's really focused on like sort of orchestral music. I mean, oh god, the new company did a really good job because it's like I play it and man, I just want to keep playing it all the time. I could have stopped playing it when I started playing it the day of when it came out. Gameplay wise, a lot of Sly Cooper's old moves are still in there. There's a lot of new ones because actually now you get to be Sly Cooper's ancestors and his family back at their time, so you get to use like samurai sword. The graphics, of course, they are so, like I said, it's cell shading and it almost was like the comic book feel. Now the cell shading, it really runs really flawless. Some games, they try to really push the console too much, where just something that looks so realistic that you get stuff like frame rate drops, you get lag, you get glitches, but now it's like it's just so smooth. Like that's what the games used to be about. They used to be just this fun, just this smooth flowing game. It wasn't too much about the graphics or how realistic they looked. The characters, the main cast is still there. You have Murray the hippopotamus, Bentley the turtle, and the raccoon. For those of you that like Carmelita Fox, she's still in there, but you only get to see her in the beginning because apparently there's a lot of other characters that are time traveling right now, a lot of villains that are time traveling, and so he has to go back, fight them off, and then see what's going on with the devious raccoonus. The third game left off where they finally get rid of the last bit of Clockwork, who was the main villain from the first game. Well, anyways, he retired. Of course he fell in love with Carmelita Fox, and she fell in love with him even though he's a criminal and she's an officer. Sort of got that itch back where he wanted to start stealing things again. He kind of gets his crew back together because apparently Bentley was doing some science experiment. I mean, you don't really have to play the game to really, I don't want to really spoil how the exact story goes, but just, you really got to get into it.
That was awesome!
PlayStation.
And now on to Guild Wars 2 with Phil and Fabian.
Thanks, Matt. We're going to talk about Guild Wars 2.
Hello, and I am Phil.
here to mention a couple of the upcoming updates for the game. People are really excited about this. Now there is a ton of updates they are going to do, but I'm only going to mention a couple of the more important ones. One is revamping the dungeons. It means that there's a lot of controversy going on. People are complaining that the way dungeons have been run through teams. An example is the res shrines, the waypoints, is where, let's say, everyone's stuck in the boss. He's a little bit overpowered, kind of destroying the team. All you really do is just keep dying, res, run, continue attacking the boss where his health was left off. They're actually going to get rid of that, and the only way the rest of the team is going to spawn is if they all get wiped out at the same time. The gem shop, that keeps getting updated a lot, but the biggest change for the gem shop is you're going to be able to change your name though. You know, there's no word on how much it's actually going to cost, but the option will be there.
And also, one of the bigger updates that's happening is guild halls. They're actually coming back with guild halls, which is a great thing. I've been looking forward to this. It's something that will keep the game moving forward, and it'll help interact with your guild, learn everything about what's happening with each person, and yeah, they're going to help each other out.
I agree. It's actually going to be more private for your guild specific members only to be at for meetings or whatever, really just to hang out. Instead of finding random spots in an open world where there still are enemies and other random players running about.
What are the things that was not mentioned do you think they're going to do, like downloadable content? What do you think is going to come up in Guild Wars 2?
Definitely new areas. Though I am not sure what exactly they're going to come up with, but there's plenty potential.
If you go to the world map, there's all kinds of areas you can't explore yet. Like Ring of Fire was a big one in Guild Wars 1 that we're looking forward to, and I think that's going to be one of the ones to come out soon.
As well as more dragons. A fire dragon in the Ring of Fire area would be pretty epic.
And maybe they'll come back with the doppelganger again. You'll never know. You'll never know. If you haven't bought Guild Wars 2 already, you are missing out. There is so much creativity that went into this game. The graphics are great, the gameplay is great. The only thing that's really lacking is the storyline.
Pretty much everything you would want out of a game. I mean, it's got so much to offer.
It's redefining roleplay games as we know it. Way better than the World of Warcraft stuff that is out now, mainly because it's free to play to everyone. Even the in-game stuff that you can buy with real money, you could actually buy it with in-game cash. It just takes a little longer to get that, and you have to basically grind to get it, but it's still worth it.
It's actually kind of funny that you compared it to World of Warcraft, where there are tons of kids, not just people, kids specifically, that are totally against Guild Wars 2. I hear this all the time. They still say WoW is better in pretty much every way, and that Guild Wars 2 is basically like WoW, just a rip-off or just different content. Really, you can't compare them. I mean, but it's a completely different game, honestly. It's a whole new experience. Deep within, you know they love Guild Wars 2, and it's kind of a mind-blowing experience for anyone, really. It is a sequel to the first one, yes, but you do not have to play the first one at all to get into the second one. It's anyone can get in and play it right off the bat too. It's not like you're going to be confused. It's always explained to you.
The stories from Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 do not collide in almost any way. There's like a couple of things here and there mentioned in Guild Wars 2 about Guild Wars 1, but even if you haven't played that, it wouldn't really matter to the gameplay. Now we are gonna talk about the convention. We're gonna pass it on to Mario and Liz, but we're gonna talk a little bit about it between ourselves because we've been there since the very first Las Cruces gaming convention. We were part of the crew. That's when we first joined the Game Nights crew, and it's gotten better every time. And that's really something to look forward to with our group. It's something that's going to get bigger and better each year. That we touch on so many subjects. We're going to have so many different games. Whatever genre you're interested in, we're going to have it.
Thanks, Phil Fabian. You guys rock.
My name is Elizabeth. I'm secretary of Las Cruces Game Nights, and we're here to talk about the Las Cruces Gaming Convention.
We do a lot of stuff year-round, but this is our biggest event.
It's going to be happening April 5th and 6th, 2013.
April 5th and 6th, that's the week after spring break, so make sure you guys save up your income tax money or any money that you guys could have saved up. Save it for the convention. It's only $10 to get in. It doesn't get any cheaper than that.
And the admission fee includes ramen noodle eating contest, cosplay contest, and game trivia. You can win prizes.
Game trivia as in like Jeopardy, you answer questions. The more you know about video games, the more prizes you can win. We also have a lot of different events going as far as live martial arts demonstrations. We also have the Las Cruces SWAT team coming down and showing off some rifles. And you play the game like in Call of Duty, you play the weapons, you fight like in Street Fighter, and now see it in real life with real life martial artists.
And we're also going to have vendors, isn't that right?
That's right. The vendors locally and out of town from El Paso and from Albuquerque, they're going to be coming down selling some comic books, some accessories, cosplay accessories, and all kinds of video game memorabilia. Also different retro video games and new games that are coming out on the Xbox. We're going to have vendors for that as well.
And what about the gaming tournaments?
The game tournaments, you see, our biggest challenge at the Las Cruces Game Convention is to split it right in the middle. We have our casual side and we have our hardcore side. Our casual side, we have the shows for that, and we have the video game trivia, and we have different free gaming with the retro arcade machines and the Super Nintendo and the Atari. But on the hardcore side, we're going to please all those Apex and Evo people and MLG. You want to come down, you want to show you're the best in the Southwest, then prove it at the Las Cruces Game Convention with different tournaments like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, Halo 4, you name it. Every single major tournament that MLG, Evo, that they're going to have, we're going to have, and get some practice in before then, or just, like I said, just prove you're the best and win some cash prizes. I mean, it's only $5 per tournament, so if you enter one tournament and get an entry fee, that's only $15. That's still cheaper than what Code Red was in town, so it's pretty affordable.
Don't forget to check us out on our Facebook page, LCGCS.
It's facebook.com/LCGCS and our official website, lcgc.webs.com. Like us.
And do the Harlem Shake.